Steve, what's your assessment of what you've just watched this afternoon?
Plenty of effort, which is what we get always. We've given away, for me today, 2 poor goals. And come up against a squad that's full of quality. That's it. And what they have got is they've got a squad. You know, the subs they make, you know, when it's later on in the game and you're thinking, oh God, I hope he doesn't want to come on and be a bit livelier than the lads who have already been there for 70 minutes. They're just a side full of quality. And that's why they're on 90 plus points, 90 points before we played them, which is normally good enough to go up. We haven't got that. We're 1-0 down. We give away a poor goal. We're 1-0 down. Then they, to be fair to them, their character, they got in 4 great blocks in that first half. 4 great blocks. And that's another reason why they're on 90 points, because they've done those things. We always knew it was going to be a difficult game. We knew that. Coupled with all the other difficult games we've had, you know, there hasn't been one where you think, okay, you know, we're nice and fresh this week, so we can play somebody that's, I don't know, in and around ourselves and have a week's build up. And you know, whenever we had done that early in the season, it was good and it was fruitful for us. But just with the run of games that we've had, you know, whoever put the fixtures together certainly weren't a Shrewsbury fan. Because if you look at it, you could have almost said these teams are all going to be in and around the top 10. And we've played all of them. But not all of them spread out. We've had them back to back to back to back. So there's never one where you think, okay, well, maybe we should win today, or, you know, if we're fresh. And I think coupled on top of that, you know, the injuries that we've had to deal with, like, you know, today we were, you know, as flush as we've ever been, you know, certainly for a little while. But the trouble is, they haven't all played. And it's, you know, I think if you see Christian Sadie in the first half, you know, Christian Sadie's been absolutely first class for us. Maybe he'll be better for that 45 minutes, but he just wasn't sharp today. He just wasn't sharp. And you need them moments from him, where we had a couple of moments in the first half, for him to be sharp. And yeah, I mean, for me, we're just playing against a side that's full of quality, and sometimes you stood there and it won't matter what you do and what you change to, they'll find a way on the pitch. And the bottom line is they're too good for us. They're too good for us. That's where we're at. If you think about when I first come here 2.5 years ago, we were either joint bottom of the table or second from bottom, wherever it was, and we were due to finish that season on 32 points if you worked out what they'd done after 13 games or something like that. We were due to finish on 32 points, which means you're probably relegated by the end of January. And it's been a long, hard road, recruiting, players going, recruiting again, players going. And, you know, what we're talking about now, we haven't been threatened with relegation all season. Nowhere near it. We've been in that top 10 for probably 80-90% of the season. We've never once had to come out and think, oh my God, we're looking over our shoulder, you know, somebody else has won today, and all of a sudden we're a point or 2 out of the relegation zone. You know, we've had times where we were 2 points out of the playoffs, you know, in January. And you think, that was talked about at the Player of the Year, I think you actually mentioned it, Stu. So when you look at that and you think how far we've come, I think the trouble is when you've been up there and then all of a sudden things even out, it's almost like we're disappointed because of where we are in the table, in mid-table. And that's right, we probably are disappointed, because I do think that we deserve to be higher than we are in the table. And I know everybody says the league table don't lie, and I've probably used that line myself over the years. But it just feels different, this one. And that's not me soft-soaping it or anything like that. You know, I will be critical of the lads if I think, not publicly, individually, maybe as the team, I thought the 2 goals we conceded today were poor. And and that hasn't always been us. But I just think the shift that they've put in this season, I want it so badly for them to try and finish in that top half of the table, ideally the top 10. We need other results to go our way now, and we need to go and win both of our games. We know that. Where other teams have got perhaps a week's break again now, we've got to go the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, which was down to Bristol Rovers having international call-ups. So I wanted it so badly for the club to finish in that top 10, so badly. And I wanted to win so badly today for Shea Dunkley. I wanted to win so badly for him today. Whilst I want to win for myself, and I want to win for the lads, and I want to win for the supporters, I see Shea Dunkley every day. I see him every day, and I watch him every game. And I really feel for him today. I really feel for him. But there's nothing more I could have done. Or when I look back on the game, sometimes you look back and you think, well, I wish I'd have done this, or I wish I'd have done that. I haven't got any regrets, because I don't know what else there would have been I could have done.
And you had some moments, second half, a couple of saves for the Wednesday keeper. You clipped the angle of post and bar.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did that. But I think a little bit more sharpness, a little bit more belief, a little bit more confidence, maybe them go in. But, when we've had the run we've had, and the lads keep getting banged on the head with defeats against clubs, it doesn't matter what we say, somewhere along the line, it'll affect them. What we need to do is probably get ourselves in front and then go and get another goal. And then you'll see all of those players come back to what you saw probably before we hit the bump in the road, which would have been probably mid-March. I'm just going to catch up with us sooner or later, but that's the reality of all of it, we'll be back in and we'll be working next week and see this all the way through, and the lads will be committed all the way through. I know in the lead up people have mentioned and said that they'd be committed for the last 3 games. They were committed today, but the bottom line is we haven't got the quality that they've got. We haven't got that. We just haven't got it, and sometimes it's really, really tough to stifle it. And then what you hope then is you hope no mistakes. You hope there's not a mistake anywhere.
And you have welcomed some players back from injury in recent weeks, and Ricky Pike, the latest one to get back out there today, which was great to see.
Yeah, the trouble is he's done one training session. And at the end there, you're expecting a little bit more for him, but he's done one training session, Ricky. Sadie's done hardly any training sessions, so we got a 3-game week as well coming up, so you got to look at teams and how you're going to play and all of that, and try and plan. It's hard because you want to plan the week out with what you're potentially going to do, but it's hard to do that at the moment. But the lads have tried and tried and tried. I just can't fault them, but we got to keep. You hear a lot of the top managers at the top clubs. You hear Pep mention about fighting. You got to fight all the time. You've got to fight, and that's what we've got to do till the final whistle's blown at Lincoln. And if this club ends up in mid-table, it'll be a big achievement. When you look at the sides that are down there at the moment and struggling, it's been tough. It's been tough. It's like we've been going uphill for about 6 weeks. Everything's uphill at the moment, but we're tough and we'll see it out.
Thanks for your time, Steve.
Okay.